The berg ship Lillian Guest, 7 kilometers from socket to prow, pearly in the eye-strained light of the sun, stood on her tail above the wide truss of Saturn Station. The station was home to 7,000 people. None of them could see the small figure bounding over the solid ice of the Lillian Guest's bows, carrying a harpoon launcher. A claw ship hovered low above the figure, like a giant space-going lobster. A net containing multiple cans of ice encased in iron, each twice the height of a man, dangled from one of the ship's claws. The other claw dipped into the net, plucked a can out, and cast it toward the berg ship. Radrick Siegn harpooned the can at point-blank range. The super-hard drive magnet on the projectile bonded to the iron. He began to reel it in. The claw ship suddenly jerked up a few meters. Siegn watched the claw ship nervously. Almost too late, he pulsed his backpack rockets and flew clear of the slowly approaching can. Its sharp rim gashed the thick white coverall he wore over his suit to keep him warm and protect him from radiation. Siegn cursed under his breath. The cylinder crashed into the hull of the Lillian Guest and rebounded into the vacuum. Siegn hastily fixed the projectile's tether to the iron plate he'd driven into the hull on a previous expedition and retracted it until the magnet clanked onto the plate. The can lay snug against the ice. A grain of rice on the back of a whale. Siegn had grown up on Mars. He'd never seen a whale. Rice, rarely. No one would ever notice it. 3 more cylinders to tie down. He'd already done 8, spaced out around the bows. Each one massed 9 tons, fresh out of the cannery at the melt plant. The Lillian Guest massed 15 billion tons. But the Big Lil belonged to the Martian Combined Fleet, and the cylinders belonged to Siegn. He'd pocket 20% of whatever Laudrian could get for them on Deimos. It would push his ship fund over the 50,000 sol mark. The claw ship shrank into the vacuum. The craft was remotely operated. Siegn couldn't ask the operator what he was doing, or they'd be overheard on the radio. He pulsed his backpack rockets and rose up from the hull. The ice plane stretched aft, smooth and nacreous. The Big Lil was newborn. They'd finished hulling her just a week ago. She was so large she had a horizon, partly blocking out the double-wide beige rainbow of Saturn's B ring.